Hey guys, me again. We're doing a brand new video. It's a different type of video. We're doing a tier list, not a real talk this time. And yeah, we're just gonna be rating all the booth models that I decided to pick. Originally, I was gonna do a tier list for every booth model. When I went and looked into booth models, however, to see how many there were, it was over 1,000. We're not doing over 1,000. If this video gets over 1,000 likes, I'll do a new tier list with every single model, and I know we're not getting over 1,000 likes. I'm not that big of a fucking YouTuber to get 1,000 likes on a video. I'll get like maybe 15 at most. So yeah, that's not happening. But if it does, I'll stick to my word and I'll make a tier list with every single booth model uh, on the tier list. God, I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. Anyway, so you'll notice down at the very bottom over there, yikes, that's the D tier. All right, it's yikes for a reason, and you'll know why it's yikes when I put certain models down there, because there are going to be some that go into that category. Now, so the criteria for the tier list. All right, let me go over it real quick. First off, for any of my friends who watch this, I'm not basing the model on edits. This is just the base model alone before it's been touched at all. The exception to this is being edits to the model that are only clothes being changed, or the hair color different, or maybe you put a different hair color on. If it's still just the base without any like real changes to the model to make it stand out on its own, it might as well still just be the base model with very basic editing, right? So that being said, your custom model that may look like an entirely different model that have people questioning if you used a Celestia base or not, those are, they're in their own category. They're not going to be on this tier list again. It's just the base model. So don't be offended if your favorite base ends up down in like C tier. It's cute, right? At the very least, it's still cute, right? That being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the tier list. I have, I believe, 30 or 35 choices here of models that I decided to pick out. These are, again, all very common ones that I see plenty on Twitter and plenty in VR chat itself. So, without further ado, let's get started with this fucking tier list. Oh, I guess I should say as well. This tier list is entirely opinionated by me. If you don't like it, go make your own. If you do like it, cool. Also, I don't speak Asianese, so if I butcher any of these names, I don't give a fuck. I don't speak Asianese, and if you're offended by me saying Asianese, grow a backbone. It's the internet. I don't give a fuck about your sensitive ass. Anyway, to the tier list. First up is Charmé. Charmé. How do I feel about this model? I think Charmé is a very cute model. And I'm gonna throw it into B tier. It's very nice. Fits in B tier. Oh, I should also add that the models that I put in the list, their position matters. All right. So I'm gonna put them all into the tier list where I think they go, and then at the end of the video, it'll be rearranged to where I think they are placed on said tier list. Okay? Anyway, that out of the way, let's continue on. Charmé, B tier, very nice. That's where it belongs. That's where I'm putting it. Next up on the list is Chiffon. That's going right down there. Yikes. If you main this model, that's a yikes from me. Nothing more need to be said. Next up is Digiel. This model only has one spot on this tier list, and it's going all the way to the top. All the way to the top. S tier. Goated. Also, I'm trying to the camera is inverse, so I'm trying to point in the right directions. So if I fuck anything up, forgive me. But yeah, S tier. Goated. No other position than just S tier does this model belong. Okay. If you disagree with Digiel being any lower than an S tier goated, you're objectively wrong. Moving on. EO. EO. How do I feel about EO? Where does EO go? Is EO A tier? I feel like EO is an A tier model. I like EO. EO is a very good model. I'm gonna put EO in A tier. That's where I'm gonna put EO. You're going in A tier. That's where it is. Can't convince me otherwise. Valeria. Yikes. It's going all the way down there. It's going. If you're using this as the main, don't. Yikes. Next up on the list, Haka. Haka is gonna go into it's cute in the C tier. It's cute. That's about all it gets. Is it's cute. It doesn't really stand out, I guess, if you will, for me. It's a cute model. That's all I can say about it. It's just a cute model. That's about it. Nothing really more comes of it. Next up on the list is Emiris. Emiris, all the way up there in the GOATed category. It's going all the way up there. It belongs up there. If you disagree, I mean, I guess you're entitled to, but I mean, it's going up there anyway. That's where I'm putting it. Next up on the list is Karen. It's going down there too. It's kind of a yikes model, man. It's kind of a yikes model. Can't really put it in anything but this. Is what it is. Kikyo. Ooh, Kikyo. This used to be probably one of the most used models in the game when boots started to pop up. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, boot models. Correct me if I am wrong on that. Where does Kikyo go? It's cute, but definitely better than C tier. I think this model just fits comfortably in B, so I'm gonna leave it in B tier. I might say this could be like a top of B tier model because it's kind of like, I don't know. It feels like this is just the foundation of what started everything. For me at least, like Kikyo was like that model that was everywhere for a while, and then boot kind of like exploded afterwards. At least that's what I saw from it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. We're gonna move on. Next up is Kizma. Kizma, I'm gonna throw into C tier. I think it's just cute. It's kind of the same. I feel the same about the Haka model that I do with Kizma. It's just a cute model. It goes here. I guess the only thing that really stands out on it is the very large ears, right? Outside of that, it just kind of sits there and it's cute. We'll leave it there. Let's see. We have Kokawa? Coca-Cola? I don't know how to fucking say this name. I'm gonna say Coco. We're gonna call it Coco. Coco is gonna go. Dude, this model is actually really fucking cute. I love this thing. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think this one deserves A tier. It has one of the best faces that a model can have. IMO. It just looks really fucking nice. So it is going in A tier, and I'm gonna leave it there. Next up is Kurunatsu. That's an interesting name, Kurunatsu, but I see this model a lot. I'm not familiar with all these model names. Most of them I have to ask my friends for. Like if I'm interested in like somebody's model, I'm like, what is that base? And they'll say a name, and I'm like, if it's not like one of the more common ones like Kikyo, Celestia, Vel, Rindo, you know, I'm just like, the fuck is that one? Who made that? What? But yeah, this one I'm going to put in. I'm feeling like it could go in A tier. It is a nice looking model, but I feel like this would probably fit at the bottom of A tier, barely squeezing in there, or very high B tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it's a little bit less than the Kikyo, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. It might be a little bit higher than Kikyo. We'll see when I get to the end of the list and like rearrange everything. This next one, some of you guys, okay, if any VR chat players watching that have seen this one, because I know this model is like taken off in popularity when it dropped, and I still see a lot of people using it to this day. And I'm gonna try to say this weird ass name, but this model for me is just not it for the most part. It's Lazyusha, I think it's pronounced. I mean, you'll see the picture of it. It is going into its cute. It just goes in its cute because that's about all it gets from me. I couldn't really like. I didn't want to make this tier list have things like dog shit or horrible or bad because I think all of the models for the most part are good, except for those, are good because they honestly just look really nice. But I didn't really have like I don't want to put an it's okay because it's better than okay. So I'm just gonna put it into its cute, and that's why its cute is like C tier because they're the models that I think are okay, but still better than okay, if you will, right? Like that's probably not a really good way to describe it, but that's the best I can give you. But yeah, it's going in C tier. Next up is Lifa. Lifa is gonna be in. How do I feel about Lifa? It's a B tier model. It's a B tier model. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It can go in B tier. It's fine there. Next one on the list is Lime. That's going in Yikes. That's another one that's going in Yikes. don't use this as a main. Anything in Yikes, don't use that as a main. Just, you shouldn't be using that as a main. I think most of us playing VR chat, especially on the booth side of things, are adults. You shouldn't be in that. It's fucking weird, okay? I said it. It's fucking weird. Moving on. Machi. Machi goes in B tier as well. This is a very nice model. I like this one. It's A-okay by me. It's not super great. It's not super bad. It is just right there. B tier. Middle of the pack. Manuka. Manuka's this model, super cute. I love this model. It's also going into B tier. Definitely higher than Machi when I rank it, but yeah, B tier model for sure. It's going in B. Next up is Maya. How do I feel about Maya? I know some people will argue Maya has a face that should land it in Yikes, and I can't disagree with you. But I don't feel like it fits in the Yikes category personally. I feel like this is going to go into the B tier with questionable placement, to say the least. But I feel like it does fit into B tier. But you can make the argument that it should be down there in the Yikes category as well. That being said, for me personally, I'm going to leave it in B tier. I think that's where it belongs. And we are going to move on to Marino. This model is a very pretty model. Like, I'm tempted to just throw this one right in A tier. I think it belongs in A tier. Maybe not top of A tier, but definitely I think it goes in A tier. So that's where I'm going to put it. Next model is going right on into the Yikes category. It's Mint. If you're maining this, I question things. Like, yeah, that's just Yikes. It's going in the Yikes category. Nothing else need to be said about that. Moe. Moe is going... Ooh. You could argue Moe is S. You could definitely argue Moe is S, but I'm going to put it in A. And it's probably going to be top of A or very close to top of A. But for me personally, A. You could argue S. But I'm definitely going to put it there because I think it deserves that spot. This is a fucking amazing looking model. Like, the base alone is just amazing. The edits I've seen just make it stand out even more. Which you could argue should be the reason for S, but we're only doing this on the base model itself. So it's going to stay in the A tier for me. And we're going to move on to Mominoki, which is very close to Kizma in its looks, which is why I'm going to put it into the C tier with Kizma. It's cute. I'm going to put it above Kizma for sure, because I think Mominoki is a little bit of a better model, personally. But yeah, putting it into C tier, we'll leave it there, and we'll move on to the next one, which is Mofira. I believe I said the name right. If I didn't, who the fuck cares? I'm going to throw this one right on up into B tier as well. I feel like my B tier is going to be filled with the most models, for sure. I think I've put most in B tier at this point. You guys can see the list. You'll know. I can't right now. I won't be able to tell until I actually go and edit the list into the background. Green screen behind me, so I can't see shit. Anyway, yeah. We're going to go ahead and drop that into C tier. Or B tier, I'm sorry. B tier. The next one on the list is Muromu. Muromu is... like, I want to put this one in A tier because I think this model is really fucking gorgeous. But at the same time, I think it's like not quite on the same level as the other A tier models. I'm going to put it up there anyway. I'm going to put this as A tier. Might be at the bottom of A tier. I'll see when I get around to fixing it. But for now, it's going in A tier. That's where I'm putting it. I think this model is gorgeous and I love it. So, on to the next. That is... Nayasuka. Nayasuka is a fucking adorable model. I believe this is also an A tier. It goes in the A tier. More people should use this too. Very cute model. Love it. Runa is next up on the list, and Runa is going to go in B tier. Runa, I use Runa a lot myself for a little bit, but it's definitely a B tier model. It's not super great. It's not super bad. It's right there in the middle. Perfect spot. Just there. This one, S tier. Next model on the list, S tier. Celestia. It's going all the way up to the top, baby. Celestia is all the way up there. If you disagree, you are just as objectively wrong as disagreeing with my placement of DGL. Okay? You're just wrong. Celestia, top tier. It's going all the way up there. Anyway, Nothing more needs to be said about Celestia. Is goated. Charlene, I'm also putting in S tier. This fucking model, oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's gone all the way up to S tier. It is fucking amazing. You cannot argue with me on this one. My opinion is gonna just stick to S tier. That being said, let's move to the next model, and that is Shinra. Shinra is an interesting one. It kind of has a similar look to the Koronatsu model, but it does have its distinct features. So I think I'm going to put it in the B tier as well, kind of bordering A a little bit. I might put it up A. It'd be very low A, but for the time being, we're gonna leave it in B tier. I think that's where it belongs. It's quite a good model. It's fine right there. Moving on, we have Tetsuko, our other robot, the first robot that came out of the two, if I'm not mistaken. Tetsuko is going to fit into the same category of B tier as Runa, and a little bit less. I think Runa is a little bit of a better model, but Tetsuko is not terrible. It's just going to be a little bit under Runa for sure. It's going into B tier. That's where I'm leaving it. And we're going to move on to the next, which is Yol. Now, I know my friend Dr. Puppers uses the Yol model a fuck ton. And for you, Dr. Puppers, I have biasly put this in S tier goated. Just kidding. This is my tier list. I'm putting it where the fuck I want to, and it's going in B tier. It's a good model. It's very nice. I'm leaving it there. That's where it belongs. IMO. The next three on the list, the last three, actually, the last three are going to be the, like, well, outside of Kikyo, these three might have a little bit of heat in the comments if this video gets enough traction. We have Wolferia is next, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, my Wolferia mains. I am so sorry, but to me, it's going and it's cute. I'm sorry. It's cute. That's about it. I don't think it's got. To me, it doesn't compete with everything above it. Okay, it's just cute. And honestly, it's bordering one of the lower side of the C tier. Is what it is. That's just how I feel about it. Now, the last two on the list, have been competing on Twitter and VR chat a little bit over the past so many weeks. And you guys watching will know Rendo and Vel. Yes, Rendo and Vel. The Rendo and Vel enjoyers have been bantering back and forth with each other that I've seen on Twitter for a little bit now and in VR chat. Rendos have been fucking, like, changed into Vels and vice versa. There's a little bit of competition. I think it's friendly competition for the most part. Anybody who's taking that banter seriously should consider, like, they should reconsider and consider and then reconsider again. Anyway, we're going to start with Rendo, and I'm going to put Rendo in B tier. I think Rendo is a wonderful model that fits perfectly in the average right here in B. If you Rendo enjoyers disagree with me, sorry, it just is what it is for me. And you probably hate this even more if you're a Rendo enjoyer, more so than a Vel enjoyer. I'm putting Vel in A because I think this is a superior model overall. It looks better to me, and it belongs in A tier, quite high in the A tier, if I might add. It's just the better model. Is it goated? Not quite, in my opinion. Not quite goated, but A tier nonetheless. A top tier model for sure. That being said, though, the tier list is done. Hopefully, this video comes out okay when I finish the editing and shit. If I have to re-record it, it's gonna fucking suck, but you'll know because I'll let you know I re-recorded it. I already re-recorded this one because I was on the wrong mic. But yeah, no, I'm done with the tier list. This is what it is. As long as you're staying away from those, use whatever the fuck you want. Like, okay, in reality, you can use whatever the fuck you want. You're your own person. I'm not your boss or your dad or whatever. But like, if you come around me in those models, you know, just I'm looking at you, okay, and not in a good way. I'm thinking things that make me question why the fuck you're using this, right? Like, I know some of you probably just think, oh, these are fucking cute. They're adorable. Okay, sure, but still. I don't know, man. Those are some questionable choices. Everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. Use whatever you want. I mean, honestly, use whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with the tier list, with everything in its proper spot for me and how I feel about it. And you guys know the routine. Like, comment, subscribe. I mean, I don't care if you do, but I mean, if you want to, that'd be awesome. And oh, if you use the base that you didn't see here, and you want to know my opinion on it and where I'd place it, leave a comment and tell me the name of the model, and I'll go take a look at it, and I'll tell you where I would put it, including like where it would be in that tier as well. So like, if it would be in front of or behind certain avatars. But yeah, just let me know if you see something, or if you don't see something and you want my opinion on it. Just fucking throw a comment. Anyway, my Twitter will be somewhere in the description. You guys go follow me there too, because I fucking tweet out quite often. But yeah, that being said, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed the tier list, and if you agree with it,